The Mayflower Electronics O2 headphone amplifier and ODAC delivers a completely neutral sound signature while having enough amplification power to drive any pair of headphones you can throw at it. But please don't actually throw your headphones at the DAC because that's dangerous. Click the link in the description to learn more. Hey, what's up guys? Joker here. Today I wanted to talk about a game called Rocket League from Psyonix. This game came out just about a week ago. Really just came out of nowhere, at least for me anyway. I didn't even know that it had come out until a few days after its release, and I started seeing YouTube videos and Twitch streams where tons of people were playing this game. This game is just kind of blown up overnight, more or less. The past couple nights on Twitch I went and checked, and I saw it was the #2 most streamed game on Twitch, edging out games like Dota 2, Hearthstone, CSGO. League of Legends still had the top spot, but they were in the #2 position the last 2 nights in a row. And I've not really seen that happen in recent memory with games that are coming out brand new like this. But, you know, even games like GTA 5, Witcher 3 didn't really see any prolonged period of time where they were you know, taking this top slot up on Twitch, but this game really has done it, and I think, you know, there's a possibility here for some really good competitive play with a game like this too, and we'll touch on that in just a little bit. But so far I've been having a lot of fun playing Rocket League. My friends have been having a lot of fun playing it, and every video you watch on YouTube, it's just people having an absolute blast. So it comes as no surprise as to why people are going out and picking this up, because when you watch these people playing it, they just look like they're having fun. You're like, I want to have that fun. So you go out, you pick it up, it's 20 bucks on Steam. Happy to support an indie developer like Psyonix. They are developing it and publishing it, so no big publishers behind this one. And just, you know, I'm excited for the future of this game and to see what kind of content is going to be coming in the future. To touch on that just a little bit, they do have plans for future DLC. They're saying it's going to be mostly cosmetic stuff with cars, and all the maps coming out in the future are actually going to be free. So they don't want to split up the community where the new maps will come out and then some people won't be able to play with other people. So that's really, really nice to see that they are doing that with the maps. And also, as far as playing with other people, this game actually supports cross-platform. It's on Steam and PS4, and Steam and PS4 users can play together, so that's really, really cool. I've got a brother that plays on PS4. We haven't played together yet, but you know, at some point in the future we probably will, now that that is a possibility with this game. On the subject of the cars coming out in the future for DLC, I do have a bit of a concern about this, because they say it's going to be mostly cosmetic stuff, and for the things like hats and antennas, which I'm going to touch on when we get into the game in just a minute, you know, as far as those are concerned. But, you know, as far as the hats and like the streams that come up behind your car, I don't really have a big problem with that. But the actual cars themselves, I do have a problem with, because right now on the PS4, they have one vehicle that is exclusive to the PS4, and that is Sweet Tooth from Twisted Metal, the big ice cream truck. Now, you know, most of the cars in this game aren't really going to give you that much of an edge, but when you're starting to play 3v3s or 4v4s, especially if you want to get competitive and play with groups of other people, then there are advantages to having larger vehicles, and the Sweet Tooth vehicle right now is the largest vehicle in the game. So if he's playing goalie, which, you know, you don't have to have a goalie, like there's no rules like, okay, this guy is goalie, but many people that actually want to win, usually if you're playing 3v3s or 4v4s, you will stick a person in goal to be able to block goals, essentially, be goalie. And when you do that on the PC, at least, the most popular vehicle is the van, because it's a cargo van, because it's the largest vehicle. If you're going to be in goal blocking goals, you're going to want to have the largest vehicle possible. So on PS4, they've got Sweet Tooth, which is bigger than the van that we have on PC, and we don't really have anything to balance that out. So they have a larger vehicle than us, and if in the future, if more vehicles are coming out, are they going to be maybe even larger than that? You know, and if they're paid DLC and people are paying to get these larger vehicles that could be better goalies, then that could give them an unfair advantage against people that aren't going out and paying for the extra DLC because they're already happy with the base game, the $20 that they've already put into it. One way I can see that they could balance this out, at least right now, between the PC and the PS4, since they have Sweet Tooth, is why not give the PC or both platforms like a garbage truck, something to that effect, or just a generic ice cream truck that's not necessarily Sweet Tooth with the Sweet Tooth bauble up on top. You know, or the garbage truck. I think that would be a perfect balance, you know, between the two platforms, so that you don't have one platform having an edge with, you know, the ice cream truck for goalie. that's just, you know, one thing I've noticed with this game, and I'd like to see them kind of address that in the future, because I do see it possibly becoming an issue going down the road with things like competitive play, especially on Twitch streams, if we start seeing big 3v3s, 4v4s with like commentary and all that stuff, because this game does have the potential to be a pretty big esport, I feel. But now let's go ahead and jump into the menus and take a look at some of the features we have in there, as well as the game options, and talk about the performance of Rocket League. Here we are now in the menus. You can see my performance up there at the top left, getting up around 90 to 100 FPS on average with the single 980 Ti. I could have gone ahead and enabled SLI if I wanted to in the NVIDIA control panel by setting AFR2, but being as that I'm getting up around 100 to 140 FPS when I'm actually in game, I didn't really see the necessity of doing so, because I am getting such good frames, even at 1440p on the single card, and it's only using about 1 GB of video memory, so really not taxing the GPU all that much at all. Now let's go ahead and jump down into the options menu. You can see here for the camera, you can do an inverted camera control if you want, which I'm not a big fan of, so I just have it set at default. You can set your FOV, camera height, camera angles, camera distance, the stiffness, the swivel speed, so how fast you can move your camera, and the ball cam indicator. You can press Y on your gamepad, and then it will just sort of follow the ball around, which I have found was the best way for me to play rather than having a free cam. But you can take control of the camera anytime, even if you have that on. But if you let go of it, it will just instantly start tracking the ball again, and that's what I found to be the best way to play, for me at least. And I do recommend playing this game on a gamepad. Yes, it does support mouse and keyboard, but I have found that it works best with a gamepad. It's just one of those games, you know, you're driving a lot, so playing with a gamepad I just found to be the most ideal setup for me anyway. But if you don't have a gamepad, you want to play with keyboard and mouse, you know, the support is there, you can do it. I just didn't really care for it on the brief moment that I did try using it, but since I've got the Xbox One gamepad, you know, why not? Coming over to the video options, you can see in here we have resolution support, which would go all the way up to 4K. Unfortunately, not a refresh rate slider, but being as this is an Unreal Engine 3 game, it's really not that big of a deal, because you can go into the config and very quickly adjust this game to any refresh rate that you want. Coming down to, we have windowed mode. You could do full screen window or borderless. You could set VSync on or off. Anti-aliasing options in here, we've got FXAA for low, medium, and high, and then MLAA, which is a decent number of settings. And there would have liked to seen SMAA or maybe MSAA, but you know, MLAA is good, and at 1440p I've not really had any issues as far as aliasing is concerned in this title. Render quality, you can set to high quality, quality performance, or high performance, high quality being the best looking but the most impactful on your performance. Render detail, I have that at custom, and then coming over here you can see I've got everything just basically up full whack, texture detail, highest quality, world detail at the highest quality, and then all of the little extra things turned on. They've got high quality shaders, ambient occlusion, depth of field, bloom, light shaft, lens flares, dynamic shadows, and motion blur, which actually might wind up taking off in the long run, because I don't particularly like motion blur usually in games, although I haven't had a big issue in this one, but I think I'm going to try to turn it off and, you know, see how that goes, because I usually do turn that off in games. Coming over to the audio, we have your gameplay, music, voice, and ambient volume, so you've got sliders for every different level of audio, which is something I definitely like to see. For output type, we do have headphones and speakers, which is nice that they do have that included option. That's something I look to see in almost every game that I play, so very good that they do have the option there for speakers or headphones, as I do often switch between the two quite frequently. For voice chat, we have allow all, team only, or disabled, so it's good that you can go ahead and disable that if you don't want to, as well as the text chat. There's text chat in the game on the PC, so you can turn that off if you want to, and then push to talk is enabled by default. Thank fuck for that. Otherwise, we'd have to hear a bunch of fucking 12-year-olds on their mics. I'm not sure how that works with PS4, since this game does support cross-platform play, but I haven't actually heard anyone talking in-game as far as randoms are concerned. I've tried typing messages to people, but no one ever seems to respond, probably because they all have controllers in their hands, but, you know, it is what it is. Coming over to miscellaneous, we do also have in here horizontal split screen, because the game does support split screen gameplay. You can play with a friend on split screen if you want. controller vibration, ball arrow, and finally your metrics option. You can go ahead and turn that on. As for playing online, you can just go ahead and jump into a match. You have the option for duels, which is 1v1s. You've got 2v2s, standard 3v3, and then chaos, which is 4v4. I personally prefer 3v3s and 4v4s because I feel that's when tactics do start to come into play. You know, kind of needing a goalie, having someone playing center, your striker really to be able to hit those balls that are coming across mid on crosses and things like that. You've also got ranked gameplay down here where you can do 1v1s, 2v2s, or 3v3s, and then also region settings. You can set it for Europe, US West, East, or Oceania, but I usually just leave it on any, as I haven't really found ping to be that much of a cause for concern in this particular game. You also do have the option for private matches. You can come in here, you could set your arena, blah, blah, like all this good stuff. So if you were going to play with a large group of friends, you can go ahead and do that. And you can see that there are a decent number of fields in this game, some with rain effects, night effects for some of the maps. So you've got a good variety of levels in there, and there are going to be more added in the future for free. So you don't have to ever buy any of the maps. You don't have to worry about there being a split in the community where one friend has a map and another one doesn't. So that's nice to see that they are giving that level of support going forward in the future. You also have the option to do an exhibition match if you want, so you can play with bots. There's a season mode that you can do, so you play with bots in there, which I'm not particularly fond of because the bots in this game are just absolutely insane. I mean, good luck actually trying to get to the ball playing on season mode with a whole game full of bots, because they are absolutely ruthless, and they always know where the ball is. They get to it really, really quickly and effectively. And I found the AI in this game to just be overly difficult, even on like rookie difficulty. They are really, really good and very, very smart AI, which, you know, may be, you know, something you're looking for. But it was almost like unrealistically good how good they are. They're just way, way too smart. But if you want to play, you know, a single player, you do have the option here. You can do a season. You can customize the season for how many teams are in the playoffs. They've got standings and tracking in here, so you can do all of this stuff. And it's, you know, a decent amount of fun if you did want to play this game, you know, by yourself, or maybe if you didn't have internet for the day and you just wanted to play some solo action, you can go ahead and do that with the season option. It's there if you want to use it, but it's not really the primary focus of this game, I feel the online is really the main reason to be picking up Rocket League. Coming down to the garage, you have different unlocks that you do get in the course of playing the game as you level up. Right now you can see in the bottom left there, I'm a level 10, which is semi-pro. I've got all the vehicles currently unlocked on the PC. There is a variety of vehicles, so you've got smaller, fast vehicles, and then you've also got larger vehicles like the Merc, which is sort of like a cargo van. This is the largest vehicle on PC, so I've seen most people using this when they are playing goalie so that they're taking up as much space as possible. This is what I was mentioning earlier when I was talking about Sweet Tooth on the PS4, being that is actually the largest vehicle in the game, but it's exclusive to Sony, so it's kind of a shame that they have a larger vehicle than us on PC, because it does give an unfair advantage when you're getting into 3v3s and 4v4s. There are a lot of cosmetic changes you can do also for your vehicle. You can do custom paint jobs on vehicles if you do have them unlocked. Oh my god, that is loud. So, oh wait, I went back here. Gizmo. All right, there we go. So this one has custom paint jobs that I have unlocked, so I can do like flames, lightning, stars, stripes, and finally a tech one, which I don't know how that's techy at all. I mean, that just looks like a bunch of squiggly lines to me. But hey, that's me. Coming over here, you do have options for colors. You do play on a blue and orange team, so for each side, your colors are going to be somewhat limited to being within that range. You can do like a pink, orange, yellow, but this is all basically for the orange team. So you do have limited options as far as your color choices, but it makes sense being that it is a team game and you need to have a color so people actually know, you know, which side you are on. Coming over to the wheels, you do have a lot of unlocks you can get. I've got a decent amount of them so far, and there's more to go. So this is the kind of thing that keeps you, you know, coming back and playing more so that you can get all of the unlocks. There's 24 wheels in total. Right now, I'm rocking my green money spinners, which are pretty pip, if you ask me. We also got rocket trail, so when you do your boost and pick up the sort of like nitrous boost on the ground, it allows you to do a boost with B on the gamepad, and then you have all these different ones that you can put on. So if you want to have like a smoke, there's like a rainbow trail you can unlock. the Ion Green. You could do Slime. So, you know, just a lot of fun. Just little customization things you can do that are just pure aesthetics. Don't give you any edge in the game whatsoever. They also have hats, which I've only unlocked a couple of. So far, I've got the Brunhilde and the Wizard hat, which is pretty pimp. I was wearing that for a while because it reminds me of the Wizard hat from Trine, or also the one that Cartman wears in some of the South Park episodes. So I kind of like that Wizard hat. It's pretty cool. And then also you've got baubles you can unlock. There's 33 of these available. Rocking the soccer ball at the minute. They've also got country flags for a lot of countries here, so you can pretty much, you know, depending on where you're from, you can go ahead and set that. And then, and there was also, what else did I have in there? I also had, oh yeah, the chroma and the smiley face. So there's a lot of, you know, other things you could unlock in here. Looking forward to unlocking more. There's like a dollar sign there I could see. A heart. So lots of different little customization options you could do just to add, you know, to the fun of the game and the customization of your personal vehicle. They've also got training in here, so if you want to do basics or more advanced training, you can do that, so you can learn a little bit more about the tactics. Coming into the extras, we have the option for replays, stats, leaderboards, so you can go in here and they've got all leaderboards that you can do, you know, global leaderboards or with just your friends, whatever you want to check out. If you want to, you know, as deep as you want to go in this game, you can do it. And that's going to wrap it up for the menu. So now let's go ahead and switch back over and talk about the gameplay. So as you can see there is a decent amount of customization that you can do with your vehicles, and also with the graphics option. They have a few options in there, nothing really to sing home about. As far as SLI support is concerned, out of the box there is no SLI support, but you have to go into the NVIDIA control panel and then enable AFR2 to get SLI working, although I think most people probably aren't going to really need to use SLI. I'm not using it. I'm running it on the 1980 Ti at 1440p at highest detail settings, and I'm getting like 100 to 140 frames on average, which is more than enough to please me. I don't need to be getting 250 frames in this game. It is also worth noting that right out of the box, it is actually capped at around 60 FPS, but there is a way to go ahead and quickly tweak this. I'll actually put a link down in the description below to PCGamingWiki.com, which has the instructions on how to go ahead and remove the FPS cap, so you could set it to 120, 144, what have you, whatever you want to set the frame rate limit to, you can go ahead and increase that. That's mostly in part to the fact that this is an Unreal Engine 3 game, and traditionally a lot of Unreal Engine 3 games I have seen capped at around 60, 62 FPS, but you've also traditionally been able to go ahead and remove that very easily in the config files, and Rocket League is no difference here. So if you're running a 144 Hz panel and you want to take advantage of that in this game, you can do it. You just got to do a little bit of a tweak in the config file. Really not that big of a deal. As far as the gameplay is concerned, it's pretty straightforward, really. I mean, it's RC car soccer. It just sounds silly when you hear it. You try to explain this game to a friend without them seeing. You're just like, oh, what is it? What is it? Oh, 20 bucks. What are you doing it? Oh, well, it's soccer with cars. That sounds stupid. I don't want to play that game. Well, you've got to see it. If you see the gameplay, you'll get it, and you'll see people having a lot of fun, and then you'll in turn want to play it as well. At least that's how it worked for me, and since sitting down to start playing, I just found it extremely addictive. You basically, you know, you start out, you could play 1v1s, 2v2s, 3v3s, 4v4s. There's ranked matches as well, so you've got, you know, different options there you could do. So depending on your party size, if you're playing with 2, 3, 4 people, or even just by yourself, you can do all of that. You can party up with people, you can jump straight in with a bunch of randoms, which I don't necessarily always recommend doing, because I have seen some stupid ass people when I just jumped in with randoms, like some absolutely horrible people. Earlier there was this one guy playing goalie with the van, and I don't even know why he was in there. We probably would have won if he wasn't playing goalie and just out trying to play. Actually, I probably take that back. He probably would have been just as horrible if he had actually come out and taken the fucking field. Now, outside of the obvious gameplay elements of just playing soccer with cars, there's also speed power-ups that you can pick up on the ground. There's like little orange lights you pick up that help fill your meter a little bit, so you can get a tiny boost. There's also larger ones that kind of look like World Cups scattered on the corners and the middle of the map that give you a full 100% boost, so you can get a longer go at it. You can use these boosts to just travel across the map a little bit quicker, or the field I should say, a little bit quicker, or to even punch goals in. It's very effective if you're, you know, you can come out of nowhere really and just boom, just punch a goal right in using the speed boost. There's no weapons or anything anything or power pickups like that. When the developers were asked about it, they did say that they're not going to be doing any weapons in the game, so don't expect anything like Mario Kart where you're going to be picking up power-ups and shooting like missiles across the map. That's not going to happen, but they did say that there is the possibility of power-ups in the future. You know, what that means, I don't know. I can only speculate. Maybe you can pick up something that would give you like a double jump as opposed to a single jump, because you can jump in this game. You can press A on your gamepad and do jumps. You can also hold X to kind of rotate the vehicle left and right and do or like a spiral motion, which can help you with trying to hit the ball in different directions. And you can also even spin end over end forward or backwards, which can help you with doing like backflip hits or forward hits. It's just, you know, there's a lot of variety there, and you know, you're just gonna have to find your own strategy and figure out the physics of the game so that you know how to play. There is a lot to it. When you first sit down, you're just like, oh, this is so basic, it's so simple, it's just silly. But then you play it for a couple of hours, and then you start to get kind of competitive with it, and you're like, I want to win, and you're trying to figure out the best ways to do that. You start coming up with some pretty clever strategies if you are playing with friends, hopefully, because there is a lot of tactics involved in this game once you get a little bit deeper into it. But initially, you are going to have that sense of, this is just a lot of fun, and I just want to have fun. But at least for me, now that I've played it for a few hours, I want to be, you know, a little bit more tactical with my friends and try to really, really win and just annihilate everyone in our path. That's my hope in every game now that I play. But that's going to wrap it up for the video, guys. I hope you do try out Rocket League in the coming weeks and maybe sit down and play it, because it is just a lot of fun, especially if you have a group of friends to play with. So not only should you just buy it, but also convince all of your friends to buy it so that you can have a better time playing it. It's really one of those games where you pick it up and then you have to tell everyone you know about it so you have people to play with. But it shouldn't be that hard of a sell, because as soon as you watch some gameplay of it and people having fun, at least for me anyway, that was the hook, and I was just sold like that. So go ahead, check out Rocket League. It's $20 on Steam. You can get it on G2A, but it's only like $1 cheaper. So I chose to just get it on Steam so that I know my money is going to support the developer Psyonix, being as they are a smaller indie studio. I wanted to make sure that they were getting the money that I was putting into this game and supporting those guys, and I recommend you do the same. I'm sure they'd appreciate it, and I would as well. So go ahead, check out Rocket League. It's available now on Steam and PS4, and I'll catch you guys next time. Ta-ra.